Oh, hey, how we doing, sir?
We're from that town with the great football team. Cheer their feet.
Technical difficulties. His mic keeps cutting in and out. I'm worried about us getting kicked off of YouTube. I don't know what's going on. What are you so happy about, huh? What are you so happy about? What in the world is this?
We made the playoffs. We took the AFC North.
You did.
I stayed up for the entire game. I was like, usually on Sunday night, Monday night games, I'm usually in bed at halftime. And it was just one of those, I'm like mumbling, like grumbling about stuff. I'm like, I'm going to bed. I'll give them the first series of the third quarter. And then it got interesting. And I'm glad I stayed up through the end. Needless to say, we had an angry puppy because she wanted to go to bed about 2 hours before we did, 3 hours before we did. The next day I was dragging, but it was a great game.
It was. And now, like I said, I have been a fan of Rodgers, and I was in a couple of times when he's been on TV, like, okay, do I root for him? Do I not? But he came through. He got a veteran guy who's able to call some plays. I thought he was telling him to leave him alone on some of those calls, like, I got this, but it turned out his comm system was down.
Yeah.
And he couldn't hear. And then what was his line? We had a package in, and there's only so many plays you can run with it. So he just did his deal. So
yeah,
that's the benefit. I know a lot of people are griping about, long term or this or that, but I don't know. You'll get Metcalf back next week, and it should be interesting.
Yeah, it was a great game to watch. It was just pacing.
Sure.
But it was interesting. And the breakdowns and stuff on defense, you're like, okay, we have this. I'm like, we need more than 3 points. And it went down to 2 points. I'm like, oh, I still don't know how they called that a block at the end, that extra point. But they were saying the one, Matt Williamson, he used to be a scout, a pro and college scout. He was saying it's not so much our kicker, Boswell, but there's been differences. There's been issues with from the long snapper to the holder exchange. That whole process has been slightly off. So who knows? But man, was it exciting.
Yeah.
So what time does Miami play this weekend?
So they have a comfy spot scheduled on their couch, which has been a yearly tradition for a while. And I mean, the word was today that they had, I forget, I think it was like up to 5. It's 3 to 5. I forget what the number was of candidates for the GM job. So how would you feel walking in and, Stephen Ross, you get the owner, Troy Aikman, Dan Marino, and then a couple other guys. Like, that's a pretty intense room to pop in on,
Yeah.
Yeah. But of course, like, the one comment that was made is, that's great. Let's go in and see these people that mean or don't know this job and don't know anything about it, but yet they're the ones that are, judging or determining your fate, whether you get a job or not. So yeah, kind of crazy, but kind of wild.
They always said just because you're, and I truly believe this, just because you're a great player doesn't make you a great coach. And
exactly.
Just because you're a great coordinator, I mean, it's shown time and time again. Some of these guys are great X and O guys, but when you become a head coach, you're not a coordinator. You are the CEO. You have all the moving pieces you have to juggle. So just because you're a great coordinator, I think if I was an owner and I had a couple great coordinators, I would say, listen, I'll pay you like a head coach. I want you to stay my coordinator.
There's something to be said for that. Like, you get a guy that's really solid and strong, and some of them work out, some of them don't. You look at McDaniels at the Patriots. He's tried 2 different coaching stints, and just, I wasn't there, but stuff you hear, definitely doesn't seem like he had that to be the head coach. But you can't deny his offensive game calling, right?
No.
He does a great job there. So you got some of those guys that are just destined to be that. Matt Nagy, he failed, was it with the Bears, I think, and then did a great job with the Chiefs. Now he's in one of the top runnings. Like, they're talking about Stefanski possibly. He got fired from the Browns. I wouldn't see him as I feel like how he handled the Shador thing was really weird, but I wasn't there. I wasn't in the office. I don't know exactly how that goes, but
I think I almost became. I have family and friends in Cleveland.
Yeah.
When way back in the day when the Steelers were very antiquated, even more antiquated than they are now, I was like, I might need a team to jump to, and I have family and friends up there, and they had different owners. It was, I think, the first incarnation of the Browns.
Yeah.
But this owner, he kind of threw Stefanski under the bus, saying, well, that's his pick. You don't take him in the 5th round if he's your pick. When he's been sitting there all the other, you take him sooner. So I think that was the owner's pick. And
I agree with
some of those owners, they said there's only 32 head coaching jobs in the NFL, but some of the owners, I don't know if you really want to take a shot with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough. And even look at kind of that same situation. Look at the Falcons and their head coach. Now, the GM, I think the GM got canned, but when they just signed Kirk Cousins to that huge multi-million-dollar deal, and then you pick up, I forget even the Pence or whatever the quarterback was.
Yeah.
Why in the world do you do that after you just ink $100-some million contract and then you pick this guy up 1st or 2nd round? Like, yeah, I mean it's easy to play the armchair quarterback, the Saturday morning Saturday morning coach. But just being in the thick of it, I feel like I the strategy behind it, the different things that are going, and I wouldn't want to have to make a decision, but the one thing, going back to my Dolphins, missed the playoffs yet again. Supposedly Tua is open to trying out other teams. He's got that guaranteed clause, and I don't think Ewers is the answer necessarily. He did a decent job, but I think you got to solidify that O-line, which has been since Marino. You got to do some things. Their A-Chain looked great. He looked great last year too. Had glimpses of doing great stuff. So some of those things, like looking at that. So who knows? Who knows exactly how it's going to work out? But yeah, we'll see.
I mean, I have to admit, like, I wasn't a big fan of discount double check coming in.
Yeah,
but
sure.
He's so far. He's shown he's had some bad games, but he has shown his guile and his wiliness. So there's sometimes I think he overthinks. A couple times he had to waste some timeouts, didn't come back to bite us, but he had to waste a couple timeouts because he was trying to catch the Ravens in, some shenanigans and too many men on the field and hard counts, and just time ran out on him, so he had to call timeout real quick. But
Sure.
Harbaugh's gone from Baltimore. They released him this afternoon.
Yep, I did see that. Yep, it's kind of crazy, but yeah. So a lot of big things happening, and so how has the re-entry back into school been for you?
Started slow yesterday because, well, bless you, I was up late with the game, and first day back, kids were dragging, so we did some current event talk, and we did Gimkit, not Blookit. We went Gimkit. Gimkit has the snowball fight, and because I was playing on the big screen, I was getting pelted because the kids could see where I was at all the time because it's up on the big screen, so I was just getting thumped. But I think the lowest spot I took was 4th place, so I'll take that as a win.
Too shabby.
We did that, and then today we started getting into content. How about with you?
Yeah, I mean, let me tell you. Look at you getting beard compliments in the comments. I tell you. All right, Trisha. She's working you over. Look at, she's trying to get all of her comments to get popped up fast. So we came back in. The kids were so tired. They were so quiet. It was just hilarious. I've never seen them come in the building so quiet. But I always do Minecraft Monday, so they knew they were rolling into that. So I do half a math class to go over a couple things, review some things, and then kick into that. And I've shared before, we do these math mansions. So they're working on finishing them up based on that old PBS show from Britain. So they're working on that. So they were, they enjoyed doing that. And then in science, before break, we were doing some chemistry work in Minecraft. So they're working on finishing that all up. So a couple but again, limiting because even though they've had 700 hours of screen time when they weren't at school, still don't want to have a lot of screen time in there, but then get them up and moving and stuff. And did a gym kit today with the kids. Now we picked up the pro version for our school, so it's been nice kind of balancing around. And it's interesting, like some classes love gym, some classes love look it, just kind of mix between. So but I mean, back in the thick of it, 2 weeks off. It's definitely was a wonderful 2 weeks off, and ready to roll and get some things done. But it's we're in January 2026 kicking in. It's kind of crazy to think about 2026, and I believe it's. So I talk about Sleepy Monday. Kids are more awake today, so that would be Tuesday.
And it's the first Tuesday of the month.
I guess since we just had New Year's, it might be the first Tuesday. So I guess it's probably time for
the PAECT Pod.
All right, let's roll it. Welcome to the PAECT Pod, a show for educators by educators with PAECT, a 100% volunteer-run organization. And I have the honor of being the president of PAECT. My name is Eric Verno, and with me, as always, my co-host.
I'm Dom Salvucci. I am the vice president of PAECT.
Only a couple more pods left where he gets to say that. He's getting ready to roll over into the presidency. So speaking of that concept, we're going to have a great talk tonight on episode 93. I noticed now my readers, I've been wearing more and more. So it's not the tell so much for Verno, but it's a tell for Dom, and he's got glasses on. So I guess that means what, Dom? What does that mean for viewers that may not know?
We have a very good guest, a very smart guest coming on. So in a lame effort to look smarter,
that's it. He steps his game
wearing
up.
My glasses. And also, I have to admit, I think I only wore contacts twice over break. It was I was more into glasses and pajama pants and sweats mode than I was get dressed up, put contacts in, and interact with other humans mode.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of teachers were in that same scenario, definitely. All right, so we're in episode 93, and we're calling this pre-PETE Convo because this is our final round. We got January filling out all the finalizations, all the programs, all the sessions, the summits, all that stuff coming into place, and pretty much have it all anchored down. And then we kick over to February. In the first week of February, we're kicking off PETE&C.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it.
So Dom was alluding to. So we're gonna talk a little bit about all the different things going on. We are going to have a special episode upcoming. One of our keynotes at PETE&C this year is Holly Clark. We're going to have her on the pod to kind of do a special release for that. So look out for that. That'll be the video will be kicking out. Exciting stuff there. We got a lot of great things planned. The program looks amazing. Working on PHT has our meet and greet. A lot of stuff kicking. There's a lot of AI talk from Google to Gemini to Copilot, some Canva stuff. So there's going to be a lot of really cool discussed. But tonight, our pre-PETE focus, not only are we talking about PETE before the month of February, but there are some cool things that happen as a part of a pre-conference, pre-PETE activity. What do you think about those, Dom?
Oh, these are always good. There's a lot that goes on. Conference doesn't actually start until Monday, but you have the pre-conference that rolls out Sunday. A lot of events, and PAECT, our Keystone Technology Innovator Program, always hosts a fantastic interactive pre-con event, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight for a bit. Yeah,
definitely going to have some conversations about that. It seems like Charlie's excited in the background.
Yes, she's paying us back for staying up late the other night. She's been going outside and just getting all the dogs in the neighborhood barking, complaining. about how we were mean and kept her up past her bedtime.
Coming against the owners. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that's good stuff. All right, let's make sure. Look at our buttons here. So let's go ahead and let's kick off and let's invite our pod guest to the show. So here we go. And we have Melissa Krenzer joining us this evening. How are you doing there, Melissa?
Hey guys, I'm doing well. Little hoarse today, like you said, getting back to school, trying to get these kids excited, waking them up. It's not an easy task.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So give us a little bit about what your day job is. What is, so you're working with kids, obviously, in the classroom. What is it that you do?
So I'm from Western PA, north of Dom, somewhat of a Steelers fan. And I
Sounds forced. All right.
Yeah. I teach 6th grade math in Grove City Area School District at the middle school. I've been part of PAECT for about 6 or 7 years. I did not do that.
Busted it out. Too bad we don't have a 6-7 out there.
Yeah, sorry, I did not do that on purpose. And I attended KTI Summit in 2020 virtually, in 2021 in person, and have been on the lead learner staff ever since. And this is my 3rd year on the committee to lead the pre-conference. And I'm so excited to share that with you this evening.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, they definitely, like Don was saying, that special time ahead of time to kind of talk about, different things going on, gearing up and getting excited. It's a great time for the KTI family to get together. It's a great time for PAECT members to get together. That you more than welcome to sign up and show up. So really cool. So yeah, go ahead, Don.
You did leave off the fact that you are the host of KTI Chat.
KTI Chat, yes, which will happen next Tuesday at the same time, same great place here. Yes. So this year, our theme for the pre-conference is KTI Ninja Warrior. And we, last couple of years, have done some interesting themes. So 2 years ago, we did a space theme. Last year, we did a Kentucky Derby theme. And of course, with me being involved, it's going to have gamification. But I haven't done this alone, so I got to give a shout out to my committee that I've worked with, Becca Cancelosi, Amy Slyman, Deisler, and Ryan Bedoya. So I really appreciate my awesome crew that we've worked together. So while you were lounging in your PJs, Dom, we were working on our pre-conference here for PETE&C. It's going to happen on Sunday, February 1st from 1 to 3 in the Hershey Lodge, Cocoa 3, 4, and 5, which I believe is right around from the Bear's Den. Isn't that what that restaurant's called?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. I don't eat there. So
right down by the fireplace.
Yeah. So right around the corner there. Come with friends, come by yourself. If you're attending PETE&C, come there. If you're not attending PETE&C, you can still show up. We'd love to have you. If you would just go on to the PAECT website and register, we would appreciate it, just to give us an idea of numbers.
That's PAECT.org to register.
Yes, thank you.
How much is registration, by the way, for this pre-con event?
How much?
Yes.
It's free. It is free. And like every KTI event, there will be prize patrol. Yes.
Oh, is that officially sanctioned prize patrol, or is it?
I have 100% permission to have. In fact, I was given stuff for prize patrol by Sir Scott. So this is sanctioned.
Oh, Sir Scott. Okay. Okay. They always leave me out of this one. It's all good. I like it.
So as you know, I'm a big gamification fan. So our gamified portion of this event is about Ninja Warriors. Now, when Deisler first heard it, he was thinking American Ninja Warrior, like we were going to go through, what do you call those physical challenges? No, we're not doing any sort of any sort of challenge course or anything. But we love our friend John Meehan from EMC2 Learning, and John has an amazing his website. I am a member, so I have access to some really, really cool templates that he has, and he has a ton of stuff for ninjas, believe it or not. And so we found one, and I messaged him and I said, "Hey, John, do you mind if we do Resource Rumble in our own little version for KTI pre-conference?" In fact, he was going to try to come, but because he doesn't live too far from Hershey, unfortunately, he is not able to come this year. But he said, "Shoot, Melissa, go for it. Like, that is going to be awesome." So a Resource Rumble is when you can insert any content, any material into his template, and the Resource Rumble are questions that he might have you do within your text or within your math, within your history, within your reading. And then when you get it done, and of course, we're going to have a sensei because we're ninjas, that we bring the sensei over and you will get your answers checked, and then you're going to get something. And I'm going to leave that a little bit behind the curtain, of course.
All right.
But at the end, there will be prizes, of course. And we're also going to incorporate a STEM challenge like we do on all of our great experiences that we have at KTI Summit and KTI pre-conference. So I want to tell you a little bit about where this warrior mindset came from, because the tagline is strengthen your mindset and enhance your skills. So warrior mindset, we've all heard of growth mindset, right? Can you guys define this growth mindset for me? What would you say growth mindset is? Go ahead.
First down.
I think of it as something as keeping your mind open and working through challenges. And there's no such thing necessarily as failure. It's just another path you have to take. You don't stop if you don't get it right the first time.
Yeah, and I'd say growth mindset isn't necessarily a success point, but growth mindset is a place to get to where you're willing to take on challenges, even if you're not positive exactly what the answer is. You're not sure what route you're going to go, but you're going to use your, whether it's math sense, your science sense, whether you're pulling in your history and all that to work towards that answer. So yeah, I love that concept of working on trying to get kids to really strengthen their growth mindset. Very cool.
Yeah.
And Melissa, I have to give you props. You said the magic word and brought JG Rest again from.
I know. Where's JG? Hello. Yes, there's going to be prizes, of course. Maybe
looking forward to seeing Missy there. She jumped in, said hi.
Yes. And that's one of the things I love about PETE&C, but also pre-conference, is that connect pillar that we value so much. We get to connect with people that we have not seen in person since the last PETE&C, or if we're lucky enough to go to Summit, since Summit. So like, that's the best part about playing this gamified session is, yes, we're going to learn and we're going to grow and we're going to talk about leadership and being advocates, but mostly we're going to connect with one another and we're going to have fun. And that's why I love gamification, because it, you know, there's all this research shows that it sparks endorphins in your body, that if you're having fun and you're learning, you're going to actually help your brain learn better and you're going to remember more. And for me, gamification is just fun for me as the teacher. So, but I wanted to go back to the warrior mindset because I love growth mindset. It's been out, probably about 10 or 15 years or so. But I read a book by a math guru, if you will. Her name is Jo Boaler, and it's called Math-ish. And in the end of the book, she talked about this idea of a warrior mindset. And she is one who's wrote a whole book on mathematical mindsets and the focus on having that growth mindset in the math class and how that is so crucial. As you know, Eric and I are our math teachers, like we understand the value of that power of positive thinking, and I can't do it, but I'm going to keep trying. That growth mindset. But the warrior mindset takes it a step further. and it talks about not giving up, like growth mindset, but it also you understand your weaknesses and you seek help to fill in that, and you have that balance of life. And so I'm thinking about teachers and our need to have this warrior mindset in today's culture and climate that we're exposed to in our jobs. So we have to have balance. We have to have boundaries, but we don't have to train alone, because warriors don't train alone. They're constantly growing and working towards getting better and learning. And they have a vision of where they want to be and how they want to get there. And so I'm reading this book in August, and I'm like, I love this idea of a warrior mindset. And so I took it into my classroom, of course. I do Star Wars gamification, as you both know. And so I have a Jedi warrior mindset on my wall, and my students say our Jedi warrior mindset every day. And it's just, 3 simple phrases, and they love it. And so then we started planning, and I said, guys, what about ninja? And then doing something with warrior mindset. So that's our focus for pre-conference, is this strengthening our mindset as we come to PETE&C to get recharged and to connect with one another, to maybe learn some things and develop our craft, but to connect and to work on creating a vision and working on some leadership and advocacy within that vision. So that's the gist of what I have to share with you about KTI Ninja Warrior. And I'm very excited about it.
That sounds like it's going to be a good time. I have to sign up. I haven't signed up for it yet, but I will be there. And I agree with what you say. I mean, going to the events is a great way to recharge. Pete's a big one, especially this time of year. Hopefully the weather cooperates.
Right.
That always makes it interesting.
Last year I left early on Wednesday because of the storm, and I didn't want to get trapped in the storm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had a lot of that. Yep.
Yeah, but it's a great way to run into people, recharge. Especially, most people are just finishing up the second semester. If you're on trimesters like Eric, you're in that weird pattern. But our semester ends right before Pete.
And mine ends next week. Actually, my 9 weeks ends next week.
Yeah, ours was supposed to. We had a snow day, so we go back. We roll in after Martin Luther King Jr. Day. We'll have like one day, and then we're shut down. We're not shut down, but we're done with the second 9 weeks. So it's that third 9 weeks always lags. It's middle of winter, gray, and it's always good to get that recharge, come back with some good ideas to try in the classroom.
For sure. And that's another reason to try gamification in the doldrums of winter, because if it fails, no big deal. You tried it. I fail, and I fail all the time, right? Because that's just what you do. That's the growth mindset, that Ninja Warrior mindset is, I'm going to try. If it doesn't work, maybe I lost a couple of minutes, but then you show your kid. Doing math in front of students, I'm constantly making errors, right? It's just to say, the other day I was like, yep, my first mistake of 2026. Just own it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you owe your kids donut holes or donuts if you make a mistake?
No. No.
She has not bought into those ways, Tom. She has not bought into those ways. No, but hey,
wait, do you do that, Tom, or does Eric do that with math class?
We both, but I don't count spelling errors because I make too many of those.
Well, see, okay, then computation errors in math would kind of go along with that. Like I said, that 24 divided by 6 was 3 the other day, and they're like,
Yeah, it depends on what we're studying, whether it's directly related, whether that would be a donut-able offense is how Dom has coined the phrase now. But yeah, so yeah. What's that, JG?
He's a master, a Jedi master.
A failing forward, that is 100% correct. So if it's a big enough error, the kids on Friday would get, donut holes that they'd be able to consume during math class. So that is the donut error trick. And Dom has pulled that into his room, and he's utilizing it with his kids, and the kids have a great time.
Trying to catch you in your errors.
And calling you on it and marking it down. And, then, or you forget to do something like I do. I have this one random wheelie chair with a cushion. So I do a name picker. I did like 3 days where I forgot the name picker. And then all of a sudden one kid said, wait, you haven't done the name picker in 3 days. And one person's like, oh yeah, I've been recording, but you haven't done it. And I'm like, yeah, but a majority of you also forgot. So if I owe you donuts, you have to owe me donuts. So that squashed that one because so now I have a little sticky note.
Like negate each other if you.
It did. We did. Yeah. I won that arm wrestling battle that year or that day. So, but yeah, so I've had plenty of scenarios. But real quick, the website's up, pht.org/calendar. But under events, if you look under February 1st, here's our registration information about it. Again, remember, it's Sunday, February 1st from 1 to 3 p.m. Get there early to get into the parking lot and you come on in. I think pre-con, like you said, it's in the front. So you can park in the front of the lodge and come in through the main area by the fireplace. You could park out by the event center and kind of walk through. It's kind of interesting walking through the hotel walking through the lodge before the kickoff occurs for PETE&C because it's definitely very empty, and then a lot of vendors working in the expo hall setting up. Yeah. But the fire will be roaring, definitely. Yeah.
And their Act 48 hours will be awarded. And I also wanted to give a plug for KTI Summit applications are still being accepted. And we're going to talk a little bit about that on pre-conference too. And there are plenty of sessions to introduce people to what KTI Summit is. And so I know the socials just pushed that out again. So just be thinking like those of you who attended Summit in the past can nominate someone this year. And they're still being accepted up until I think mid-February. So that is a life-changing, awesome experience. So we want to encourage you to spread the word on KTI Summit and get those applications in for 2026 July. Coming up.
It is. Good stuff. Well, thank you so much. We really appreciate having you on to talk about this. We also really appreciate you and your committee and all the work they do to, again, get all of this lined up and just share that excitement. And again, it's, we can only thank you. It's such a huge endeavor. I know. I love when I talk to other states and talk about what we're able to accomplish as educators because it's for kids and it's on a volunteer basis. So I truly appreciate you doing that and taking your time over Christmas break and when time away from your family to kind of work on some of those. So really appreciate that. Looking forward to it. I'll be popping in and out as I'm running around doing other things during getting ready for PETE&C. As Dom said, he will as well. And
that'd be great.
One
little plug too is that if you come, you will get access to our activity so that you can duplicate it and do it in your classroom as well. So that's always fun. We did that last year and I was able to take what we did and did it in my district last year for teachers. So we like to make that available to people who come. So so excited to share with you. Thanks.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you. Truly appreciate you. And now for those of you who don't know, Melissa is also, she represents on the state board, our social committee. She's the social committee chair. So she's been doing an amazing job. So when she mentions those things are going out on social, that's because her and her crew and the different people in the different regions are pressing the buttons and making the graphics and doing all that work. So thank you for all the work you do there as well. So truly appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, have a lovely evening.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night.
All right, man. Exciting stuff. What? Good.
I forgot to tell you, this wasn't even a donatable offense. This would have been a full-blown. We have Orm's Donuts. It's the big donut shop in Beaver Falls, the town between where I live and where I teach. And they have these giant cinnamon rolls and giant cream-filled donuts with icing nuts. They're phenomenal. Anyway, I was looking this morning, and we have Schoology, and I have a folder for every day and what's going on. I'm looking, I'm like, wait a second. I scrolled through and I did this before the Steeler game on Sunday. Actually, I did Saturday. I set my folders up for this week. And I'm going through, I'm like, what? Monday, January 26th, 2026. And I have no idea why. I think I just, I screwed up on the date and I erased some things and wasn't paying attention. So I went through and none of the kids caught it. You realize a mistake of this magnitude. I said, it's an egregious error. That'd have been a donetable offense. That'd have been an ORMS offense. That wasn't donets. And the kids are, like, I thought I saw something. Doesn't matter if you thought. You didn't call me on it.
That's funny. Well, I will say today, my homeroom is not a part of the donut deal. It's just my math classes. And they picked up on the fact that I had Jeremy, there he is. They picked up on the fact that I put morning memes on, and I didn't switch over, and I had a Monday one on instead of a Tuesday today. So they caught that, but unfortunately for me, they are not a part of the donut deal, and none of my math kids in my homeroom made any comments about it, which I thought was interesting. So I got away with that one today. Yeah.
I try and do the GIFs. Sometimes I make them goofy. Sometimes there've been a lot of dog and puppy ones as of late, but then I'll do some that are themed to what we're learning or what's going on in the school. And I make some, then others I use. I did the TikTok because the kids were asking questions. I'm like, come on, guys. I made a TikTok. I got pelted with snowballs on Sunday in the cold weather to make a TikTok to like preview what we're going over in school.
That you did. Yeah. Now here's an idea for you. Here's something that I do when we get towards the spring. I tell the kids, all those different like Monday, Tuesday. I jokingly say that the local news station, one of the guys that works in the back end, their daughter was on our team, and all of a sudden on our local news, our local Fox News, I started hearing this being said. I jokingly call Thursday Friday Eve.
Yes.
I always say like the day before Christmas is such a bad day, but then you make it Christmas Eve and now everybody loves it. So I call it Friday Eve. So I'll make these different things and so then once we hit the springtime, I give that to them as an assignment. In Canva, you can make your own and pitch it to me, and it might make it onto the list for next year, or I'll start rolling them out at the end of the year and they'll see their own, but I have them create their own memes. So that's always a good one.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. So then you get them working a little bit and it gets them kind of like into it. And again, I'm like, you're leaving a legacy for next year's crew. There's something for them to remember you by, it could be something funny that happened. And so that's always a neat thing, but I'm definitely a versatile tool there for you to be able to break that up.
I use that within my classes. I'll use like with CuraPod or whatever, we're going through Canva, and they could either have the those pads, the drawing pads you were telling me about, the Wacom's.
Yep.
And I don't have enough for every kid to have one, but I put them in groups, and we'll do like GIFs, memes, make your own. They could draw, and we'll do different things on the topics we do in class, and it breaks things up. I've had kids, some of my kids that are really good artists, can I draw on paper? And like, yeah, so that works. And then I said, I'm going to snap a picture and digitize it, push it out through my, my class socials. Come up with some good ideas, and the kids vote on them, and the winning team gets a prize.
Yeah. That's good stuff. Good stuff. All right, man. Well, let's, I did have two things to talk about tech news wise. If we can kind of crank into that a little bit, what do you think?
Sounds good.
All right. So here we go. Let's do some tech notes. All right, we'll file this under the better late than never. Still some time left, but my friend Matt Miller, great guy, does a lot of great work. He's back in the classroom this year, teaching Spanish in high school. But he has his Ditch That Textbook Digital Summit, and it is online and free. It did kick off a little bit ago. So like I said, better late than never. Kind of scroll down here. So all you do is put your email in to register, and you're going to get an email that's going to bring out to you and say, hey, the stuff's live, because it actually kicked off December 15th through the 11th. And I don't think we covered this on the pod before. But as you walk through, it does have like all the different featured speakers, the different spotlights that they had going on, different spotlight sponsor sessions. But the cool thing is now that we're at that tail end of it, so between Christmas to January 11th, so you got a few days, all videos are available for the speakers, the featured speakers in the spotlight sponsor session. So there's a lot available for you to kind of cherry pick some different PD to kind of watch. A lot of great things were being discussed. So just wanted to throw that out to the viewers and the people that watch this. So hopefully before January 11th, you check it to sign in and catch some PD. So the Ditch Summit is something that's pretty cool. I've attended the last couple of years, and I just signed up. I just did it the other day, just this I guess Sunday. I was like, oh, that's right, I forgot to sign up, and was able to get in and watch some different videos. So I strongly recommend it. So
that's I follow him on socials. I get the email, with resources from him. That's a great resource. I don't know if they still do it, because we have our meetings on Saturday mornings, but they used to have a Twitter chat on Saturday mornings, and it was phenomenal. Great ideas, resources coming through, and it was well curated, very well attended for a Saturday morning. Yeah.
So all right, so now speaking of really good people, because I consider Matt in that classification of really good people, there's another bearded friend of ours that I don't know if Dom's ever met him in person before, but he got an opportunity to in ISTE this past year. But our boy Eric Kurtz, and he's been doing a lot of work he does a lot with a lot of Google stuff. Control-Alt-Achieve is his main website. But I don't know if you've heard this one before. edugems.ai. So www.edugems.ai. And so gems are kind of the LLMs, the language learning models that are made for Google's Gemini. So they call them gems, and you're able to go, and I have one created that I can use for some math problems that I can kind of get them to, here's the concept we're talking about. Give me some problems that are, written kind of like the PSSA test. Here's some math problems. Can you give me some real world examples? It'll kind of kick it out. So I have a personal one made like that. And then I've been able to use gems to kind of make some video games I've talked about on the pod before, which is really cool. But he's got a website, so edugems.ai. You're able to do a search based on different curriculum. So gamified learning, Melissa was on talking about. So using the gem link, make a copy. He created it, so it's kind of like free for your use. This gem helps you to quickly design a unique, creative, game-based learning experience to gamify an upcoming lesson or content review. So now let's take it to that other level. You attend the pre-con, you get to check out all the awesome stuff they're talking about, seeing the ways that they're using it. You're going to have something to take with you, as Melissa said at the end, to be able to kind of adapt and use in your room. But you want to branch out and do some other stuff, see what other options there are. Here's a gem that's written just for that. So that's a really cool concept. As we scroll down here, historical what if. All right, this looks like it might be up Dom's alley here.
Yeah, I was checking that out while you were talking. So.
So no, you're good. So it says this gem helps social studies teachers create rigorous, plausible, and engaging alternative history scenarios to teach causality and historical significance, acting as the chrono shift historian. So again, just kind of scrolling through there, use the gem to have a collaborative conversation with Gemini. So again, some of the gems you'll be able to create some stuff and then use it. This one looks more like one that you would kind of set up and allow the kids to have access to. So again, it's got to fit within your parameters and your AI guidelines and stuff that your school has set up. So again, let's go down to student activities, 2 truths and a lie game, 20 questions, AI debate, AI role play interview. So, Jeopardy. All right, let's bring it back. Gosh, back from the days when we were doing it with PowerPoint. All right, then even going looking at some assessments. So some ACT English generators. All right, we got depth of knowledge, analysis, and questions, different exemplars. All right, math story problems, math spiral review. All right, I've looked at some of these, and on Twitter he releases some every couple of days. He'll talk about a new one, so that's where I caught wind of it. I have not. This is the first time I've even clicked on and scrolled down to see these different things for math. So I'm kind of geeking out. I'm like, man, I can apply these. I can break this out for next week, kind of look at it. So definitely some interesting things for you to be able to look into. So just wanted to share that. edugems.ai. So edugems.ai, free resource by Eric Kurtz. Friend of PACT, a great guy, and member of the Bearded ISTE crew. So yeah, very good.
Yeah. And he will be at Tretzy this year.
That's right. I forgot about
coming
that.
up. Martin Luther King Jr. Day, January. To check the calendar.
I think it's 19th.
19th, I do believe, yes. And I was looking. There's a classroom taboo game that goes with any subject. It gives you make your own copy and run with it. That game Taboo, so it works with vocabulary. There's a lot of great resources on this website.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's really cool. That he's doing that, and a lot of his stuff. Again, Control-Alt-Achieve is his main website. Check that out. Got a lot of cool stuff there. So he is just a great wealth of knowledge. Like when you talk to him, and the guy's just always just running around rampant, doing different sessions, and whether it's ISTE this year, Tretzy, doing different things. But the cool thing is, when he has that moment to sit and just have a conversation with you, he's just a real guy, and I love that. He hasn't gone to his head. He does a lot of great things. I know he did some work with PACT with the Northwest. He's done some sessions in the past. So just a great guy. So even if you're not able to pick up any of those edu gems, but just to follow him on Twitter and even check his website out, got a lot of great stuff. All right, George, I love it. Little AI action.
He's from Ohio. He's over around Cleveland area.
Yep. No,
he's close to the western side of the state. Great resources he pushes out.
Very much so. Very much so. All right. Well, now let's. Unless you have anything that you've thought of to add for tech notes.
No, I was just one thing. I came across an article. Those of you that have the iDevices, setting mode. If you've updated to iOS 26, if you go under General and then AirPlay, check it because it automatically resets to you have three options. Never ask an automatic. It automatically sets to automatic, which means it'll just, when it catches something, it'll start playing. So you want to turn that to, I don't set it at never. I put it at ask. I like to be prompted. I don't like things kicking over automatically to play elsewhere. And the never, I always forget to turn it on. So I usually go with like ask permission to connect with networks and stuff. So that was a safety feature. I came across an article. And of course, with everything, all discourse, there was, it's not really a safety issue, blah, blah, blah. People can't hack in unless they're really good, but it's just something to check on your phones and your,
so here we go. So I am the lone Android in my house, of course, to the chagrin of my daughters and always complaining, but now that they play nice, it's a little bit better. So the other day, my wife was going to, my oldest called, just started her new job as a reporter in Gettysburg. And so she called after day one, was on the drive home and sharing about it. And she went to put it on speakerphone. And when she opened up that screen, one of the things to click on was one of my other daughter's iPhone to connect to, like to share sound right away. Would that be a result of that new setting that she would have been able to kind of play over and just play on that on her phone?
Could have been.
Okay.
Because I know, like, if you do the AirPlay, when you turn it on and you go to like stream stuff, be it any of your apps and whatnot, even YouTube, it'll ask. And I know Google does the same thing. It always is like, hey, do you want us to find devices to stream your content? And I'm like, no, like I don't want to stream anywhere. I just want to watch it on my computer or on my phone or the iPad. So that is a setting you have to go through on each device. I don't think it's. I haven't checked my iPad or anything yet, but I think it's per device. So if you have an iPhone, set it there. I don't think it carries over onto the settings on your iPad. I think that'll be a separate item to check off and look at. But
okay, that's good. Yeah,
I know. Like we had an issue with the Apple TV. We had Apple TV in school, the old ones from way back, and kids were trying to like broadcast over that and stuff. And it's like, come on, guys, we have to go in and change the settings and stuff. But the one nice thing with the iDevices, certain files, audio files, video files, you can't upload to drive easily if kids record something at home, but you can airdrop them from device to device. It's an easy way to get larger files if they can't get up into Google Drive or they're not on a computer. I tell students if some kids have MacBooks at home, or some version of a Mac and iPad. It says get it to that, and then from there you can, push it wherever you need to push it.
Yeah.
So that is one convenience with the, the I don't know what you want to call it, universe, the Apple universe.
Yep. Sure. Yeah. All right, good stuff. All right, we got to create a new bumper for PSA, public service announcements. All right, I like it. All right, let's roll into some PAECT updates. Here we go.
Sounds good.
I gotta adjust that. Those are some early AI avatars for us there. All right, so we're gonna look at the PAECT calendar as we talked about before. All right, so kicking off today is the Wild Things book study. All right, so click it in. Starting January 6th, currently 15 registered. So they have a Zoom at 8 p.m. starting tonight. So reading the book Wild Things by Sally Rippin. All right, so again, Act 48 credits available as you're working through. All right, and the different dates are set on the 6th, the 13th, the 20th, 27th. It's got the laying out how many pages to be read on different times. So a lot of cool stuff, and I love our book studies that we have in PAECT with our PD committees and our regions. A lot of great stuff. So if you've read the book or wanted to read the book, it's one to check out.
And if you haven't read the book or you're not sure, it's okay to go in and lurk. There's a lot of things. That's the nice thing with the book studies, is especially with the collective minds in the virtual room, they're willing to give you ideas, and you can adapt these book studies to whatever content you're teaching. It's always a good way, bounce ideas around and see can it be used in my classroom? Can it be used at my grade level? Could it be used with my subject? They don't mind if you lurk. Go in, check it out. But you do have to sign up. You just can't go in. You won't get the link unless you register online.
Yeah, it doesn't cost anything, but you're not opening up Zoom to anybody who wants to hop on. But if you register as a member, free member or premium, you'll get that link sent to you. All right. So next Tuesday, as Dom alluded to during the interview with Melissa Krenzer, our KTI chat is kicking off, and I believe it's going to have AI focus. I know we didn't update the banner there, but I believe they're going to be talking a little bit about that in the classroom. So definitely want to check that out, our KTI chat. So, and Dom even alluded to back the ditch that chat at the time was on Twitter. We've moved our KTI chat to Facebook and YouTube and possibly LinkedIn. But we've pulled it off of X, Twix right now, so it doesn't appear there. So you'll have to check out, again, where you're watching the show tonight is where you want to be able to check out the KTI chat. So, and then also our first in-person virtual meeting for Wild Things is happening on the 13th as well. Then we got on the 15th, the Teacher Lounge. I love this idea. Tech tools and teacher talk. So start your year off with warm drinks and encouraging conversations. So just a place to get together. There's going to be rooms for elementary, middle school, high school, virtual teachers, higher ed, instructional coaches, pre-service teachers. This goes back, I don't know, Dom, do you remember the Connected Learners series back in the day before we had so many grays? And we were both regional directors at the time, but a time where we kind of opened it up and people would join. And then even during the time of the shutdown during the COVID year, we would have office hours and just people would get on. And again, you might come on and there's conversation. You might be grading papers while you're on. You might be specifically, going for ideas of, as was alluded to, kind of the doldrums of winter that are kind of cranking through. So the Learning Lounge will be exciting. Now I will not be there because that's the rehearsal dinner. My daughter gets married the next day on Friday the 16th. So I will not be in attendance at the Learning Lounge, but I'm hoping to make the next one. All right, let's see here. Let's head back to the calendar. All right. And then we've got, all right, so on the 20th, announcing it here now, we're going to have a very important, a very amazing guests. I think we're going to have the CEO, the co-creators of Toddle app. They're going to be on. We're going to be talking about their amazing LMS that they have. And they've been doing a lot of things all over the East Coast. They've been in Miami. They've been in New Jersey. They've been in New York City. They're going to be at Hershey Lodge end of February. So you want to check that out if you want to learn more in person. And the cool thing about these events that they're having, they have a lot of people in. I had the honor to be a part of a panel talking about AI in education. So it's talking about tech use in the classroom with a side of talking about the Toddle app and sharing what it does. So it's not going to these things is amazing, and they're doing such a great job to help educators. They're offering these conferences and these times to get together free. And it's not a sales pitch. They're not pushing you and jamming you on this. So, but I definitely would encourage you to be here on the 20th to hear them talk and share. But then also look, I want to say it's like the end of February, like around the 29th, 30th or so. Yeah. But definitely
they will be at PETE&C also, correct?
They will be. They will have a booth and they will have some sessions. So you definitely want to check there. And then the 22nd will be the next Reconnect and Recharge, Southwest PACT, Teacher Wellness, Reconnect, Recharge via Zoom. So
this is an excellent, they did this last year. It's an excellent virtual presentation. Check that out. It's great for, self-care. You can project it out to the kids, but mainly it's to take care of yourself. Teachers, that's the one thing we're not good at is, taking care of ourselves. And this is one way to learn some of the skills to be able to do that.
You are correct. All right, so let's check out the Glide show. So our regional director is doing a good job keeping this updated. We had Tech the Halls in December. All right, the 6th, 13th, 20th, and 27th, we've got the Wild Things virtual book study. January 15th, the Learning Lounge, as we shared. All right, and then be on the lookout for the items that are going to start filling, happening in February. Just to let you know, if you are coming to PETE&C, Monday night will be the PAECT meet and greet. $15. You got to register through the PETE&C website and go ahead and sign up for that. But we definitely, if you're attending and you have been, you are free, paid, doesn't matter. $15 for a ticket to come, just to hang out. Again, like Dom said, to recharge your battery, to have that, just an awesome time together. So really good. All right. Well, something I didn't share, Dom, and I'm waiting to hear back. I had to put in, but I get home from school yesterday and in my mailbox, York County Government juror summons.
Oh.
Report date, 8 a.m., February 2nd.
Ouch.
So did they allow a one-time bump? So I had to put in and write the reasons why as far as attending and doing the different things I do at PETE&C. So hopefully the county grants me that ability to bump the date of my jury summons, my jury duty service to later. You have a 6-month window that you can apply. So we'll see. In November. So I remember about 10 years ago, I got summoned, and it was the first week of PSSA testing. And at that time, they didn't have a 6-month bump, and they used to have a forgiveness for educators, but for some reason, somebody somewhere was not a big fan of that, and my principals wrote a letter. Nope, they will appear. I did actually get on one case and got to hear the whole thing through and do the whole deal. So it's a great thing to do and your civic duty, and I have no problem doing it. Just the time that hit, I was like, ugh. That is not a great time to be doing jury
bad timing.
So, yeah. So anyway, but hopefully that'll go well. But a lot of exciting things coming up. January chock full of really cool stuff. And again, with the advances of AI in education and the things that are going on there, for anybody watching, anybody listening, if you have ideas, things that you're using in your classroom, send them to us. If you want to appear on the pod, email us. Right? If you're a member of PACT, if you're in the education community, we want to hear from you. We'd love to have you on the show, talk about what you're doing. And even though teachers aren't great, as our awesome interview with Coy Bowles went, and he said, they always share their stories. And we talked about how teachers are not good at sharing their stories. Let's use this podcast in 2026 to share your story.
We definitely want to hear from you. And, frame it. If you don't want to talk about yourself, frame it as what your kids are doing. Because realistically, that's what we're in the business for, is working with the kids.
Awesome stuff. All right, man. Well, the first Tuesday of the month, I think great interview. The glasses worked, and all that rolling and some good stuff. Check out the Ditch Summit. Check out Edgy Gems, and what else we got? What's going on here?
One thing we missed. Monday night. That would be, what day is that? What's the date? Monday, January 12th. 8:20 p.m. Pittsburgh Steelers versus the Houston Texans.
That's a Monday night game. Really?
Yeah.
Oh man. Wow.
I hate Monday night games. I hate Sunday night games. My dog hates Sunday night games and Monday night games.
Yeah, well,
my 3-year-old puppy is in a old man's body. He's like, it's time to go to bed. Jeopardy's over.
If Charlie was a Dolphins fan, we wouldn't be having these conversations. But no, it has to be a Steelers fan. Oh, funny stuff. All right. Well, listen, we truly appreciate everybody listening. And as always, remember, PAECT.
We are
the voice of education technology
in Pennsylvania
and
beyond.
Thank you so much. Let's thank our sponsors.
PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors. Our Tier 3 sponsors, EduSpire, Tech the Next Step. Our Tier 2 sponsors, ClassLink, more time learning, less time logging in. Teachers First. Sam Labs, engaging and effective K-8 STEM and STEAM educational solutions. Lego Education. Toddle, teacher built, AI first, more than an LMS. Once again, PAECT and the PAECT Pod would like to thank all of our sponsors for the support that allow us to do what we do. Thank you.